people don't need to be poor. You can educate somebody for $5,000 a year, and yet we put them in jail for $25,000 a year. That's stupid. And I just believe people can make intelligent choices. And poverty is an ignorant choice for a society such as ours. All of our problems, I mean, the racism that we talk about, whether it's in welfare communities, in skinheads and hate crimes, it's all poverty. I mean, the people who blew up the post office are alienated white folk who are disgusted that they are poor in the middle of such a rich society. And Martin Luther King said, you know, a society cannot survive with people isolated on lonely islands of poverty in the midst of this ocean of material wealth. That's almost identical to Lincoln saying that we cannot continue to survive half slave and half free. Now, nobody would defend slavery nowadays, 150 years later. In another 25 years, I hope we'll feel the same way about poverty. We will realize that poverty is as primitive in a civilized society as human sacrifice. In fact, poverty is human sacrifice. It is obscene and immoral, and no intelligent people, as rich as we are, ought to be associated with poverty. It's too cheap and inexpensive to educate people and to house them, see, and to make them consumers.
The difference with you is you apparently wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning trying to figure this out.
Well, it is, because that's the way, you know, I learned this, Martin Luther King, James Bevel, Randolph Blackwell, Bernard Lafayette, John Lewis. I mean, the kids in Nashville used to get up in the middle of the night and try to figure out how are we going to bring segregation to its knees. See? And that's part of that tradition. Martin Luther King never slept. Ralph used to say, Ralph slept all the time, but Ralph used to say, Martin, you got a war on sleep. Because, I mean, he was not only trying to think about what to do, but how to help people to understand, how to say things in such a way that you couldn't hide from it any longer. That's what the letter from the Birmingham jail did. It put segregation in such simple terms that intelligent, moral people could no longer tolerate it. We should, if he had lived, he would have done that by poverty by 1970. He was killed in 1968. Robert Kennedy understood clearly. And Robert Kennedy and Martin Luther King would have had poverty long behind us. So both of them were taken from us. And so it's left to those who survive. And we're not nearly as gifted. We're not nearly in the positions that they're in. But it doesn't make us, we have the burden of knowledge. We really understand that the world makes sense, that it is my Father's world, you know, and that this world can be like the kingdom of God. That it bothers me that Angola has diamonds, gold, probably more oil than Saudi Arabia, and yet they don't have fresh water. And people are dying from diseases that we no longer, not only, we don't even have to cure them. We just have to provide people with clean drinking water, and the diseases will disappear. And it's a sin and a shame that everybody on God's earth doesn't have clean drinking water. It's too easy to do.